បានសួរសំណួរកន្លែង2 3ទៅវាសំខាន់ណាសំណួរខ្ញុំបានសួរគឺជាតាក់ទងនៅកន្លែងសំណួររបស់ខ្ញុំសួរបានតាក់ទងជាមួយ social injustices ហើយ Ambassador ថតទៅបាននិយាយកន្លែង reform ទៅបាននិយាយរឿង reform ណាហើយគាត់បាន acknowledge កន្លែងproblem បញ្ហា challenges នៅស្រុកខ្មែរដែរដូចជាទី1 corruption ទី2 human rights violations the way elections contested last July elections being contested. So those are the things that the ambassador acknowledged. Those are the challenges. ដូច្នេះខ្ញុំនឹងសួរគាត់កន្លែងបានសួរគាត់តាក់ទងនៅកន្លែងម្ដងទៀត social injustices ព្រោះខ្ញុំកន្លែង concern ថា the ongoing social injustices in the Sokhmai will create an environment of instability for investors. ហើយខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងខ្ញុំសួរគាត់ថាកន្លែង reform ដែលអាចបាននិយាយ reform លោកអាចបាននិយាយ reform ឥឡូវនិយាយតទៅមុខមើលនិយាយច្បាស់លាស់មក reform នឹងគឺជា reform តាមផ្លូវណា You know what kind of reforms on the table for the Cambodian government to work on? So that was the question I was able to ask them. ហើយគាត់បានគាត់ឲ្យនៅកន្លែង the Minister of Commerce បានឆ្លើយដែរ I think overall the answer were like more diplomatic answers, you know, nothing concrete, nothing specific. I did mention land grabbing. I did mention forced eviction as concerns. Well, that tied to my questions. He did address that. He, being the Minister of Commerce, did address the issues of forced evictions and land grabbing. And I believe his answer to my question was that we are making progress, however slow it may be, we are making progress on those challenges and issues relating to land grabbing and forced evictions that we've been reading that coming out from Cambodia for the last 5 years, if not longer. So that's the question I was able to ask them too. And I believe Ms. Hapari was able to ask a related questions as to perhaps you want to speak?
Go ahead. I asked His Excellency, what's that, Gentle?
The Minister of Commerce.
Yeah.
About if you guys talking about reform, how is that reforms going to benefit Cambodian people and opposition leaders and opposition parties, something
With the
like that?
incentives of attracting the business person.
Okay. How is that reform? How is that reform attracts investors to Cambodia? So that's the gist of your questions, right? Okay.
ខ្ញុំសួរនឹងចាពីព្រោះពួកគាត់ដូចថាអត់ចង់និយាយដូចថាពួកគាត់ដូចថានិយាយពីរឿង reform គាត់ថាបើសិនជាអត់ប្រមាណថាដូចថាគណៈបកដូចថា opposition party គណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិនេះគាត់ថាសង្គ្រោះជាតិបើថាអត់ប្រមាណថាគណៈបកទាំងពីរហ្នឹងគាត់ចូលរួមគ្នាបើថានឹងមានឱកាសដើម្បីធ្វើអីទៅឲ្យបានស្រួលដូចជាអបមាថាសិទ្ធិមនុស្ស human right violation it might be a little bit better but then ពេលខ្ញុំក៏សួរពេលលោក Gentle ហ្នឹងគាត់និយាយពីរឿង business incentive ហ្នឹងគឺថាមើលទៅដូចជាពីព្រោះឲ្យដូចថាអស្ចារ្យណាពីព្រោះដូចថាតាក់អីអត់យកទេអ្នក business គេទៅណាបើ within the after 9 years after 8 or 9 years ចាបានគេយកតាក់ពីអ្នកដែល investor ហ្នឹងហើយទៅហើយ lease 99 years អីហ្នឹងថា incentive ច្រើននៃមានស្អីwhat is that free workforce or something and just the human right is just not highlighted and then ខ្ញុំសួរគាត់ថាឥឡូវនេះនិយាយពី reform ពីគណៈបកពីរនិងគណៈបកពីរហ្នឹងគាត់ជួបគ្នាគាត់ធ្វើការជាមួយគ្នាចុះអាដែល investment incentive ដែលកំពុងតែប្រាប់ investor ហ្នឹងវាទៅយ៉ាងម៉េចទៅវិញទៅថា investment ហ្នឹងគឺនៅតែអញ្ចឹងដូចថាគាត់និយាយដូចថាអត់ថាអត់មានដូរគាត់និយាយគាត់ប្រើពាក្យអាយណាម៉ាញអាយទៅថានិយាយម៉ាញអាយ
គាត់ចង់និយាយជាគាត់ចង់និយាយថាគាត់ចង់និយាយថារដ្ឋាភិបាលហ្នឹងជារដ្ឋាភិបាលរបស់គាត់ថាជារដ្ឋាភិបាលរបស់ CPP ទេមិនមែនអត់មានតាក់ទងអីជាមួយ CNRP ទេដូច្នេះហើយកិច្ចការសម្រេចនេះសម្រេចរបស់រដ្ឋាភិបាលទេអត់មាន CNRP ក្នុងនោះទេ
to build up with what Pujin Soban related to Miss Harry question Miss Harry questions again សួរតាក់ទងនឹងកន្លែង CPP ហើយនៅ CRMP and the Minister of Commerce stood up and he clarified that there's only one government in Cambodia. Only one government in Cambodia, and that is the CPP. He made it clear. Because Ms. Hatley's questions suggested that CRMP is a government that should have voice, that should have political voice and political influence. But Mr. Minister of Commerce stood up and clarified there's only one government in Cambodia, and that is the ruling CPP. តែមួយទៀតខ្ញុំចង់និយាយថែមទៅជាកន្លែង Ambassador Todd បាន acknowledge challenges in Cambodia ម្ដងទៀតអានឹងតាក់ទងនៅកន្លែង human rights violations តាក់ទងនៅកន្លែងដូចខ្ញុំបាននិយាយហើយ election contested elections ពី July តាក់ទងនៅកន្លែង corruption ក៏បាននិយាយដែរហើយក៏ acknowledge that the reform is on the way. One example of reform that's on the way គឺជាកន្លែង the Minister of Commerce បាននិយាយយ៉ាងនេះ businesses កន្លែង businesses ទៅចង់រកស៊ីនៅស្រុកខ្មែរ can register online instead of traditional paperwork and application ព្រោះអីកន្លែងគេខ្លាចថាបើថា to address corruption, like bribery and paying, this guy and that guy to get business license done and anything done. One way to address that and minimize that is to make the online, the business applications available online, so people can apply for businesses and taxes and stuff like that online, and pay fees that would supposedly go directly to the government and not to the middleman or the local officials or the governor and stuff like that. So that's one reform that I'm getting when he talks about reform on the table that he being the Minister of Commerce and his office, the Office of Commerce, are making and making progress. However, he did acknowledge it is a slow progress indeed. It is a slow progress, but they are making progress. So that's about it. Fuji So, you have anything else you want to add? Romoy, Ms. Harry, you have anything you want to add?